Gentlemen, we're live.
Okay, we are officially live. Folks, if you're tuning in, you may want to share this podcast. And here's why. Because the first live glimpse the world's going to see Sammy and Michael being on will be on this podcast momentarily. They are getting ready to get in the room. The moment we're in there, we're going to let them in. We'll go live, and you'll hear from them. We've had a lot of anticipation for this project. Obviously, a lot of you have been asking about this. It started off with a smaller project originally. Mario, you remember when this whole conversation happened? When Bill,
been a few years, though.
Shout out to Bill McIntosh. He made the first introduction to Michael.
That's right.
And he said, you got to do this interview. And then we had a year and a half. And then the first time we went to Michael's house, right after Jordan Belfort's house, if you remember that.
It was on the Christmas time.
Oh, my God. It was December 23rd, I want to say. And we went to Michael's house. We sat down in his living room, Newport, when we did the first interview.
No shoes?
We had no idea. That no shoe was a big deal. A lot of people did not like that. But, you know, the fact that I had my shoes on, he did not. Anyways, we did that interview. We left. We had no idea what was going to happen. We've never done a mob interview before. Obviously, there's been a lot of interest in the movie Godfather, Goodfellas, you know, Donnie Brasco. Cult following of these movies, right? So people always want to know what this life was like. But that was insight to know how Michael was making 8, 10 a week, the kind of businesses he was doing in New York. And then we left. The interview went live. Next thing you know, it's on the cover of a homepage of World Star, and everybody picked it up. It got 1 million views, 2 million views, 3 million views, 10 million views. Then Sammy, we had a meeting with Sammy. We had a conversation with him multiple. You remember the first time we met with Sammy. It was an interesting experience for you.
Sammy's a very animated individual.
Yes, so. I remember the first time you met him. And then we did Sammy's interview, same story. Both, I think, is at 12, 13 million views. They both have hundreds of million views right now. Both successful YouTube channels. Michael's running, I think he's at 1 million. Sammy's about to be at 1 million. Both of them doing very good for themselves with their content. The world wants to know, you know, how that life was like. So having said that, this will be the first time they'll be live. And we have some big announcements with Mafia States of America that you guys have been anticipating. It's 10 episodes. The amount of time. Mario, how many people have been working on this project all this time?
12 people since we launched the project.
On the set, how many people were on the set?
Almost 50 people.
Almost 50 people working on the set. $500,000 budget. Rudy Giuliani, Chaz Palminteri narrating. Written and directed by Gerard Michaels, who is on a flight right now to Jersey, or else he'd be here with us. And then we have Michael and Sammy. So having said that, I think if we're ready, David, you give us the green light if you have him in the waiting room. We're ready to go if you're ready. So we're going to wait on him to give us the green light, and we'll get into it. And
I think the most rare thing about this project, Patrick, is the fact that there has never been a sit-down of this magnitude in the history of Mafia. You go on YouTube right now, you type in greatest sit-downs of all time. You're not going to see this level of quality, this level of conversation, this kind of a storyline, and this is not a scripted thing. This is a real conversation, a real-life sit-down with two of the most interesting individuals. We have them on screen.
We have them on right now. So, Michael, Sammy, if you want to unmute yourself, how are you guys? Can you hear us?
I'm on.
I'm good, Patrick.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm good, too.
Excellent. Sammy, Michael, can you guys hear us?
I can hear you.
I can hear you, too.
Okay, wonderful. Well, first of all, thank you guys for making the time to be on with us. I know the audience has been anticipating this for a while. Obviously, when we had that sit-down together, we were together for 3 days, I think nearly 30 hours of footage, which has now come to a completion of 10 episodes, of which there's behind the scenes. There's a lot of different things that the audience will be seeing. But, you know, I kind of want to ask you guys a couple open-ended questions. How are you doing right now in regards to this project being launched? How are you guys doing yourself? Maybe, Michael, if you can tell us on your end of your level of enthusiasm with this Mafia States of America project.
I'm doing great, Patrick. I just want to get it underway. A lot of people are asking about it, you know, a lot of different comments, and it's time we get it out there. You know, I'm very enthused to see it happen.
Sammy, how about yourself?
I guess, yes. I'm waiting for it to come out. I've been waiting a while. It's a little awkward time right now, but I'm waiting for it to come out as well.
Well, I remember when we had you on the podcast, you made it very clear when I said it may come out this year, it may come out next year. You had a very strategic way of making sure it came out this year, which is coming out in 2021 instead of next year. And we're pretty excited about launching it. But Michael, Sammy, for yourself, the market, it seems so many people are anticipating this conversation between the two of you, specifically since we had so many different discussions from the life on your end. Where are you at right now yourselves, knowing at this phase of the season when this is being launched? Meaning, has there been any conversations between the two of you about this project yourself? So, Sammy, what are you thinking right now? What's on your mind?
Well, we did have conversations about it, and I thought we were on the same page as far as trying to put this back together and solving our problems. I'm not sure if this did solve our problems. Michael put out a video just not too long, and I didn't like this fucking video, and I think we had some words. So, but we still did this. I don't want to interfere with the project. I don't want to destroy it or hurt it in any way. And but I'm looking forward to it. I watched not all of the episodes, but some of them. Looks like they're pretty well done. And there's some issues I have with some of the things and some of the conversations that me and Michael have. I think we'll straighten it out after this or before it. I don't really care when, but so that's my opinion of it right now.
Got it. So, Michael, Sammy, maybe it's good for the audience to hear from your end. When you first flew in and we came to the property and we had that one meeting together in the room, it was myself, the two of you. I want to say Kurt was there. I think Richie was there. A few people were involved in that meeting that we had in that room next door. What was your expectation going in? And then at the same time, what was your outcome at the end when you left? Was it what you expected it to be when you left? What was your thoughts when you went in and when you left? Michael, yourself.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. Sammy and I have, two different perceptions of this life, both before and after. And I knew that was going to be some controversy between us. And obviously it was. Patrick, you were there. I think we got heated at times because we do strongly disagree. But, all in all, look, we're two made guys. And at the end of the day, I think we knew how to conduct it ourselves, even though things got heated at times. It's kind of like a blast back to the past, and you kind of remember the way things are supposed to go. And I think in the end, they went that way. How we feel about each other right now, I don't know. Look, Sammy said some things that I didn't like, and maybe I said some things that he didn't like. And as a result, there's still some tension between us. But that's just the way it goes. It's, how it ultimately ends up is really, depends on the two of us. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, Michael, it's not that, the way it ended, I thought it ended good. I think it went well between us. And just recently you put out a video that I'm completely disturbed with. We had language back and forth with each other. I think we know, let's not bullshit. So right now, I feel betrayed by you, by what you put out. What we did on this program was a beautiful thing. You're right. It was Cosa Nostra in full bloom again. It made me feel good about sitting with you. It maybe changed my opinion of you. And I think it went very well. We did have some heated times, but end result, it went like Cosa Nostra is supposed to go. But what you did after that video really disturbed the shit out of me up until right now. I didn't even want to sit down on this video, to tell you the truth. But I'm in this deep, I went in this far, and I'm not the type of guy who's going to walk away and leave everybody dangling. So that's the way I feel from that video. But the Mafia States of America, that situation and what Patrick did and what you did, yes, we do have tremendous differences of opinion along as Cosa Nostra. As far as destroying families and all of that stuff, it did to some people, but not to other people. And when we talk about people who cooperated, which you did as well, with Navi Walters, I want to really get into that right now. But, to sit there and say, this is horrible what these people did and they caught a break and all of this stuff. and belittling them and putting them down for another program that's going to come out with John Gotti Jr., it blew me away. And then the second thing you prayed for me. That's another thing that really blew me away, because I'm not a fool. I'm a street thug. I'm just as smart as you. Maybe you underestimate my education compared to your education, but I know when I'm being fucking okey-doked or try to make me take it easy because of the video. It's not supposed to bother me no more, but it does. And that was like icing on the cake to me. So it made me real angry.
Okay. Let me tell you this. Let me make this very clear. I didn't betray you. I had no intent to betray you. I still don't even understand what you're so upset about. But whatever you got upset, and what I did afterwards to not make you upset for whatever reason you had, I took that little 10-second spot out of the video. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to the witness protection program, I'm sorry, Sammy. I have my thoughts on it. I've been to trial 5 times. I saw my father go to trial 4 times. I've seen guys lie and manipulate that program to stay out of prison. I'm not accusing you or anybody else. I'm accusing the people that I witnessed, that I saw it happen, and I'll take that to my grave. A lot of guys use the program to manipulate the government. It's easy to do. They come up with bullshit stories to put somebody in jail that has a bigger name than them. And that happens all the time, and you're smart enough on the street to know that that's the truth. And that's what I said. As far as John Gotti with his Witsec Mafia, all I said was he's coming out with a show. It's called Witsec Mafia. That's it.
You didn't say that.
No. Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. Let me quote what you said.
No, let me finish. Let me respond to you.
Go ahead.
The video is up there. Anybody can see it. The only part that was edited was the 10 seconds that I had about you. And all I said was Sammy was in the program. I didn't say anything else about it. So I didn't betray you, nor did I.
Let me explain. All right, I got your point. Let me explain now what you did.
You got to let me finish. I let you finish. You got to let me finish.
Finish. What are you going to say?
So again, yeah, going back to what you said, I thought things went kind of well. We had our differences. We still have our differences about it. Maybe we straightened it out. Obviously, maybe we didn't. You still have something in your mind. As far as a prayer that I sent to you, let me explain that. We were in church. My wife sat next to me. Okay, the pastor said, pray for somebody that you think needs prayer today, that needs to come to the Lord. My wife turned to me and said, let's pray for Sammy. And so we prayed for you, and I sent you that. It had nothing to do with that video because, Sammy, contrary to what you believe, I don't need to soften you up for anything. That was just ridiculous what you said. It made no sense whatsoever.
All right, you're done. If you don't, you're done, and you're going to talk for fucking 3 hours.
Yeah, 1 second. If you don't accept my faith, that's up to you. I've heard that for 20 years, and it doesn't bother me.
I don't accept nothing you say. I don't accept nothing you say. The problem is with some of the things. I'll start with what you just said. What your father said. You said to me on the thing, when you cooperated against Nabi Walters, that your father and Carmine Persico agreed with it.
No, I didn't say that. No, don't put words in my mouth. What I said was very, very simple and the truth. And this is a matter of record. So everybody can BS about this whole Norby Walters things. It's a matter of record. What I said was I knew exactly what I was doing. At the end of the day, Norby Walters wasn't going to do 1 minute in jail, and he never did. And neither did anybody else. I talked to the government.
All right. You made your point.
Nobody did.
Don't go into a tantrum.
No.
You made your point.
You've accused me of this.
No, I'll accuse you further. Don't make the fucking point.
It's all
You made your point. You made your point. Now, Nabi Walters, I've got a lot of information with that. And a lot of friends involved.
Sammy, put it out there.
Well, I'm going to put it out. I'm going to tell you right now, right to your fucking face. I'm going to tell you.
Go ahead.
Nabi Walters, you testified against him. He got convicted.
Norby Walters didn't do it. Listen to me. It
has nothing to do with you, how much time he did. A judge in the case made a mistake.
Why do you feel a need to cover for yourself, by saying what I did? Why?
I'm not covering for myself.
Yes, you are.
No, I never did.
Yes, you are. You want to make a big deal out of Norby Walters? Let's make a big deal.
You cooperated against the fucking guy.
You want to make a big deal out of what he did?
You say he's a family friend. He was with your fucking father forever.
You don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to that.
If you shut your fucking mouth, try to stop covering for yourself. Shut your fucking mouth.
I'm not covering.
And listen
it's
to the
public
answer.
record. There's nothing to cover.
I got some of
it's
that public record. I got some of that.
What I said very simply, and I said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. Nobody went to jail because of anything I ever said to the government. Bottom line, period. And if you know anything,
you made that point.
If you know anything different, bring it out.
That's the end. You made your point.
Bring it out because it doesn't exist.
So you want to just keep bullshit.
What?
You made that point.
So
now, Nobby Walters got convicted.
What are you bringing it up for? What are you bringing it up for?
What am I bringing it up? Why would you put my fucking name in with John Gotti Jr. and that fucking tape about people who cooperated?
Watch the damn thing.
I did watch the fucking thing. 3 times I watched it.
Wrong, and there was
you put
no
my name in
intent.
it. You put my name in it.
Well, you know what? If I said to you, I was man enough to say to you, if I put your name in it and it offended you, I apologize to you. You can't accept it because there was no intent wrong on that whatsoever.
May I make one question? So, Michael, you know, you've addressed your side of it. Sammy, what's your biggest challenge with that? What was it that upset you the most about what was said? I mean, he mentioned the name. You know,
first of all, he likes to work with innuendos. The innuendo is that people who get convicted should never be released because they cooperated. That's the first fucking innuendo. Then he says, the proof is in the pudding that when they get released, they recommit. Now, I cooperated. 1. 2, I did recommit. So when you put me with those group of guys, even though he only talked about me for a second or 2 or 10 seconds and say it's Sammy, he put me in that group. So the innuendo, I got 30, 40, 50 people who were friends of mine who called me or texted me or sent messages. Why are you letting this fucking bum talk about you like that? When he cooperated.
What do you mean, why are you letting him? What are you gonna do? What do they mean? Why are you letting?
Because I don't talk the facts about you. That's why.
Sammy,
if you want to talk about facts, we could let out the facts. I mean, if we were sitting in person, I would show you why you can't. But if you want to let me
stop.
Yeah, stop my fucking ass. Don't tell me stop.
No, I'll tell you stop. Stop. Okay, we don't need to go there. We're not
you
back
go wherever
in the
you
day.
want. It doesn't matter to me.
In our hands, so
it doesn't
stop.
matter to me where we go.
About?
I don't care where we go. Wherever you want to go, we go. But if you want to put out things like that and make an innuendo that I'm one of those fucking guys who never got out.
I'm telling you to your face, there was no innuendo. You took it that way. I don't know what's in your brain or what's in your head.
Why is it bothering you that I'm talking about Nobby Walters and that you testified? Why does that bother you?
It doesn't bother me. I've said it 1,000 times.
Let's talk about it. I'll tell you about it. I can tell you about the case.
Just tell the truth. That's all.
No, you don't know the fucking truth.
I know the truth, Sammy. I say it all the time.
You don't have a fucking clue what it is to tell the truth.
Stop
whether it's Christianity or what it is.
Sammy, you're talking to me. Stop the baloney, okay? You don't want to go there either when we talk about the truth. Don't think that you're the guardian of the truth here, okay?
One thing I do, I don't buckle from the truth. I tell the truth. Whatever it is, I don't.
And so do I, Sammy. So do I. I got nothing to hide. Not a
then what is you?
thing.
What are you bothered about it with Nobby Walters? Why are you bothered? You told the people on the program.
Sammy,
I watched it, and I watched that episode where you said,
"Watch it again."
I will. I did.
Whatever I said there, I'm saying right now. Okay. I have nothing to hide with the government. I have zero to hide.
Right after
Nobby, you want to know something? You want to stand on Nobby Walters to make yourself feel better.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't give a fuck about Nobby Walters. I don't even know him.
So what are you bringing it up for?
Because you testified. You said I never testified. I never put anybody away.
Exactly.
That's all bullshit.
No,
he went away. Bullshit. He got convicted.
It's not bull. It's the truth, Sammy.
Don't
try to inject your own truth.
Your own truth.
It's the absolute truth. I'll say it again. I've said it 1,000 times, and you bring proof different. Stop talking.
I will.
Nobody listen to me. Nobody ever went to jail because of anything I ever told the government. Can you say the same, Sammy? No.
No.
So don't give me your
I don't
BS.
try to say the same.
So?
I don't try to cover. I don't try to lie.
I just told you something. No, I'll challenge you. You tell me who I put in prison. Nobody.
I just told you.
Nobody.
You have no fucking ammunition to put anybody in prison anyway. You never broke a fucking egg.
Yeah, right.
They didn't give a fuck about you.
Here you go again, trying to tell everybody you know everything. You don't know a damn thing about me, my life, or my family. Stop the baloney.
I never did. I was on the fucking street. Who the fuck knew who you are? You were nothing to me.
Really?
Your father had a name. Your father had a fucking
Sammy.
name. You didn't have no name.
Either.
You lived off your father's reputation.
And where did you live off of?
Myself.
Who were you until?
I didn't have a father in the life. I had nobody in the life.
Stop.
I lived off of myself.
Stop the baloney, huh? Who the hell knew you either?
And then stop the baloney. Who the fuck in the mob says stop the baloney? What kind of statement is that?
Oh, now you want to act like a clown? What do you mean, or stop the baloney?
I'm going to act like a clown. Stop the fucking baloney. No, I heard it from people who graduated from Harvard. Stop the baloney. I never heard that on the street. No.
I graduated from
Sammy,
Harvard.
Michael.
Yeah, where the fuck you graduated?
I don't know. The nerve. Let me tell you something. Who had more damn respect on the street than my father? And you got the nerve.
Stop using your father.
I don't use my father. I made my own name. You stop using Gotti. I made my own name. Who the hell knew you until this whole thing happened with Gotti?
My friend, Gotti came to me for fucking help. He was finished. He came to me and freaking Chico.
Sammy, you can BS everybody on YouTube. You're not BS.
No.
You're not BSing me.
With me, there's fucking government, there's state, there's people in the street who know it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's a good story, Sammy. It's a good story.
It's all made up
on YouTube.
It's all made up.
It's a story for everybody on YouTube, Sammy.
No, see, here's your innuendos. When you talk, you say, everybody who's in the street has to make their bones.
Straight. No innuendo, Sammy. I'm answering you straight out. Okay?
You ain't answering me straight out. About what?
About whatever you want. Anything you want.
You just said I got nothing to do with the fucking thing with John Gotti.
Sammy.
Who the fuck needed John Gotti? John Gotti actually destroyed my fucking life and a lot of other people's lives. I needed him like I needed a fucking 38 in the head.
Yeah, John Gotti's a good scapegoat for everybody. I know. Because
no, he's not a scapegoat. It's what he did.
Please. Huh?
You can't get away from what you did in history. You can't get away. Just like you can't get away. You got your father's name, period.
Yeah? Let me tell you something, Sammy. What I did on the street, I did. You can keep using that BS.
What did you do? Say it. Say what the fuck you did. What'd you do?
Huh? What did you do?
I did a lot. It's all over the fucking
What did you do? What did you do, Sammy?
I'm involved in 19
What did you do?
3 fucking Mafia wars.
That's your badge of honor. Your badge of honor. You killed 19. You put a gun in the fucking back of 19 guys. That's your badge of honor.
No, I didn't shoot 19 guys. I'm involved in 19 murders.
Good for you, Sammy.
Yeah. I'm involved in 3 Mafia wars. What did I do? I ran the construction business with unions. What'd you do with the fucking phony bullshit with the gas and taking down performers? What's your father's name?
Phony?
Yeah, phony.
Yeah, Sammy.
You fucking you didn't even try to shake down Michael Jackson. It didn't work.
Oh, Sammy, you know what? Stop you now. You're talking like a clown right now.
I just got one.
Is this the ammunition you got?
I got one question, Sammy.
This it?
Sammy, if the audience is watching, our outcome was the way, our outcome was to, a lot of people ask me and they say, so Pat, what do you think this has led to with all these conversations? I said, number one, if you look at the lifestyle and what's happened, both Michael and Sammy, they're no longer part of the life. Both of them run businesses. Michael runs successful businesses. Sammy's doing very well for himself as well, which means this was a way out. This worked out, creating content, telling stories, et cetera, and you've gone to a different life. Now you're grandparents, parents. It's a different phase. You're no longer 20s, 30s when you're in the hunt, want to go do that. It's a complete different life you're living right now. And there is a sincere feel of you wanting to make a transition into the next life. But Sammy, the question I have is, some of the audience that's listening to this right now, they see the frustration between the two of you. They still don't know what was. So Michael made a comment about your name being there. He says, Sammy drops your name, 11 seconds, he cuts it. What part of that reference upset you, though? What was that? Because I don't think fully the audience knows what frustrated you with that comment. If you don't mind elaborating that, if you're comfortable with that.
When you make fucking statements about people, about their cooperation, and why they shouldn't get out of prison, and you make statements that the proof is in the pudding. When they get out, they lie to the government, they turn around, and they recommit crimes. And he mentions a couple of people, including my name, in that group. My name didn't have to be in that group. He could have, if that was his feelings, he could have just said that. He didn't have to put my fucking name in the thing. That's number one. Number two, when he cooperated and did certain things, it was all right for him to cooperate against Nobby Walters, whether he went to prison or not. He got convicted under Michael's testimony. He got a $395,000 fine. He got sentenced to prison, and the case was overturned because the judge made a mistake on the case, something that affected the law end of it, not Michael or his testimony or nothing. And the case was reversed. He comes out of fucking prison. There's interviews. People wanted to talk to him. He don't even want to talk about Michael Franzese or his father. He hates them. So, and this guy here was a family friend of theirs. A family friend, they shook him down for money and then ratted on him. And that's supposed to be okay. So you could do that, but somebody else who has a problem in them, if they were betrayed or whatever the story is, you're going to be the high priestess who tells them you're no good. You shouldn't get out. When he was able to get out, he had a 10-year sentence, that was reduced to 3 years and 4 months for his fucking testimony. You were there when we talked about his $15 million fine. He never paid it. He says, well, I paid dribs and drabs, but I never paid it all. You can't walk away from the fucking government and say, I'm not paying it. That don't work. That was probably done because he cooperated. Whatever his fine was, they probably niched it, whatever they did. I can't prove that, I can't say that, but those things don't just disappear. They're there. So without cooperation, you ain't getting these things from the government. There's millions of people who went to prison. You can't get squat from the government when you're convicted. Nothing. Whether it's a fine, whether it's the time, reductions, you got to do something to get reductions. And there's tapes, there's agents saying, yeah, the argument of the New York prosecutors were arguing with the Chicago prosecutors. They wanted him to cooperate against Carmine Persico. He wouldn't do it, or whatever that is, I don't doubt. Maybe he didn't want to do it. And he didn't. But the Chicago people won out, and they used him there, and he got his favors. He cooperated. Now, he didn't have murders. He never murdered anybody in his life, from what I understand. But he'll say, I don't have cover for that. So I can't talk about it. It's another innuendo. Making the people, his people, think, well, he did what he had to do to get in a life, and he don't want to talk about it. Why don't you just be truthful and say, I never killed anybody? Your followers, probably a lot of them who are Christians, would say that's good. He never killed anybody. But he can't seem to tell the truth when it comes to these things. I don't know why. I really don't. So that's why, and that's why he had a lot of guys on the street who he says they're nobodies, and he knows who they are. I don't want to mention their names because I don't want to start a fucking revolution here. But they just badmouth him all the time. Until I got into the picture. How could you do anything, he tells me. I got into the picture, and I shut them all up. Michael ain't a bad guy. Leave him alone. He lied. So he lied. That's none of your business. Leave it alone. John Gotti Jr. is not my fucking friend. He's going to do this thing, wet sec mafia, and he's going to badmouth people. Now, I'm going to give you and your whole audience and Michael, guess who the fuck he's going to hurt the most or come after the most? It'll probably be me. And he's congratulating him on his project. And there's a guy, another made guy, ratting on everybody and his mother, which is insane. And I don't know why you would talk good about him. He met with the government. He's done a fucking gazillion fucking things that it's a complete joke. So now when he did that video, and the thing that bothered me the most was that him and his wife and kids are in church and they're praying for me. He had a catastrophe happen a week or two before with a young boy. It's not his fault. He could pray for him. Why do you want to pray for me? I'm not sick. I'm not dead. I'm not in jail. Why would you want to pray for me? So I took that little prayer you sent me as he's trying to soften me up from this video. He knew I would explode at that video because we're supposed to, at this point, be getting along. Then you put out this video, you tap him on the back. Let me get back to John Gotti Jr. Himself, he's sitting in Health magazine, Men's Health magazine, stating that he is a crime fighter now. He wants to put people in prison. He wants to do stories about people who should have never got out of prison. How hypocritical is this? And he wants to say, oh, he's doing a great job. This is your father who did 50 years. I didn't say he cooperated, but this is a guy who wants to put people in prison. He says it, he admits it publicly. It's in magazines. So I got to sit here and listen to this fucking bullshit after trying my best to do the right thing with this show and have a relationship with him and put things in the past. A couple of days goes by and there's this fucking video. And I get 40, 50 fucking people calling me. I said, I don't know why he did it. And I'm sitting there like a jackass over and over again. Well, I don't know. He ain't a bad guy. I don't know why he did it. I don't even know what the fuck to say to people. And then this emergency meeting comes up with me and Michael. I don't want to hurt the project. I don't want to hurt nothing. I didn't want to be here. You know it. But I said, I'll be here. And then we exploded just now at each other. I don't know what it does to the project. I hope it don't hurt it. I don't know what it does. And I don't really care.
Sammy.
Patrick, can I respond to this, please?
Sure, go for it.
Can I respond to this? First of all, I don't know who these 40 or 50 people are, number one. Number two, again, I didn't say anything positive about Sammy says I do innuendos. He makes things up. I didn't say anything positive about John Gotti. I mentioned a public fact that John Gotti is coming out with something called the Witsec Mafia. I told Sammy this. I never met John Gotti. I never spoke to John Gotti Jr., talking about Jr. I have no relationship with him whatsoever. I've never communicated with him other than one time with his lawyer 10, 12 years ago. That was it. That's number one. So I don't even know what he's upset about with that. I have no relationship, and I told Sammy that, and that's the God's honest truth.
You told him, you said he's doing a great job.
Let me finish. I didn't say he's doing a great job. Let me finish, okay? That's number one. When it comes to Norby Walters, Sammy seems to claim to know everything about everything. Norby Walters, here's the facts with Norby Walters. Three times I saved his life. Once from Corky Vastola, once from Carmine Persico, and once from my father because he was using our name, never paid us any money. He never got shook down. He used us for 30 years, and that's the reason he was in trouble. In the stage delicatessen, okay, I saved his life when my father came home from prison and wanted to hurt him. I can say that now because my father's gone. I think I've said it before. That's number one. So when this situation came up with Norby Walters, and I was subpoenaed, number one, first, they subpoenaed my father and they subpoenaed my younger brother. And what I told them, I said, look, I'll tell you the truth about Norby, okay, when I get put on the stand. Let my father and brother alone. They did. And when I got on the stand, you could look at the testimony. It's public record. What it said on the stand is, I don't know who Norby is shaking down. I've been in prison. I don't know. I gave him $275,000 to be involved in this deal. I got involved because I wanted to meet athletes for my gambling situation. That's exactly what I told him. Yeah, Norby got convicted. And you know what? He had 25 people testify against about the actual facts that happened in the case. So if you want to talk facts, don't just blow it off. Talk facts. Get the damn testimony. Look at the trial. Don't be like Rittenhouse, like everybody had him convicted until the evidence comes out in the trial and the poor kid got persecuted for no reason. I said, talk facts. That's number one. As far as number two, what I did on the street, you have no knowledge of, Sammy. Don't claim to know everything about everybody else's business. What I did with Persico or my father or anybody else who I killed or didn't kill, you have no knowledge of. So stop trying to make people think you know everything about everything, because you don't. Let me finish. I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you. That's no more. Number two, I'm telling you this right now. You can knock my faith like you've been doing in almost every interview that you
don't keep going back to faith and all this bullshit. Stop going back to your Christianity.
I'm responding to you.
We're talking about the mafia. Stop kissing ass.
You brought it up. You brought it up just now.
You just brought it up.
You brought it up about the prayer. What's the matter? You can't have a response?
No, I can have a response.
You're not the damn underboss anymore that it's all you. No, when you bring something up, you're entitled to a response.
Yeah, you said it 9 times already.
No, you said it again. You said it again.
I said what you
brought
said
it up.
For me, for no reason. When you have somebody die in your house, there's a reason to pray for him.
I pray for him every day. He's already in heaven.
Well, there's no reason to pray for me.
You don't even
stop the fucking bullshit with this prayer stuff.
I said to you, no, you stop your BS. Take the text and put it up on the screen. If you want to be a big shot, put it up on the screen exactly what I said.
Well, let me ask you a question.
No, let me finish. Let me finish.
Well, no, I don't. I want to stay at one thing at a time.
You always want to say something. You don't give anybody.
Yeah, I want to say something. How did you get that break? How did they go from 10 years to 3 fucking years in prison?
First of all,
3 years, 4 months.
Excuse me. Don't lie. I did 8 years on the 10. 8 years. Stop with your BS 3.4. I did 8 years. It's a matter of record. Look up the BOP records. Stop with your baloney.
You did 40 months.
Stop with your baloney.
You did 40 months.
8 years. 29 months and 7 days in solitary because I wouldn't cooperate. So stop the baloney. Stop trying to cover your own stuff by putting the blame elsewhere, Sammy. Stop. I don't do that to you, and you don't need to do that to me. What I did is a matter of public record, the same as you. And I don't care who looks it up.
Yeah, it is a matter of public record.
And I don't care who looks it up.
Record that you went and cooperated against Nobby Walsh, and you want to say you went there and saved him.
I didn't say that.
You saved him 3 fucking times.
That's exactly right.
Testify.
What the heck do you know about that?
What were you doing when you were testifying?
3 times. How do you know?
What were you doing when you were fucking testifying?
It was before that. Do you have any idea what you're talking about?
No, no. You went and testified.
I know exactly what I'm talking about.
You went to testify in a case. What did you do? Go to help him?
Did you hear what I just said? I'm not denying it. I was subpoenaed and I told the truth.
Fuck subpoenaed. We were gangsters. A subpoena don't mean nothing. You don't go.
Sammy.
So you tell him I refuse to answer.
Let me satisfy you.
Stand.
Oh, you don't go? Who the hell are you? What do you mean you don't go? You went how many times? What are you talking about?
I cooperated. I never went before.
Sammy.
I never sat with the government before.
Why did you have to?
Only when I cooperated.
Only when you had? Yeah, of course. Why else would you sit down with them?
You don't go on a subpoena.
Sammy,
let me
that's so
fucking
clear.
legit. That's a legitimate guy talking now.
Let me make this.
I got subpoenaed. I got to go.
I'm not trying to legitimize anything. Sammy, you can paint this any color that you want. Here's the facts. I testified in the Norby Walters case. Go look up your damn YouTubes. I said it 20 times, okay? And all I ever said, and I'll take this to my grave, and you can do all your bullshit research that you want. Nobody went to prison because of anything I ever said. I made sure of that. Can you say the same?
Are you
damn right. I know exactly what I'm talking about because I lived it, not you. You can pretend to live it. You can pretend to know everything, but that's all it is.
I think you lost your fucking mind.
What?
I think we're losing Sammy's signal. Do you want to call Sammy on the phone so we can get him on the audio?
I'm gonna text his team.
Michael, let me ask you: did from that moment of the video and your text exchange that you're saying you'd be willing to share it? Did you guys have a phone call together, or there's not been a phone call or a Zoom together? It's just been text.
Patrick, as soon as he sent me the text, I said, "Sammy, I didn't mean to offend you. I'll take it down." I looked at it again. I talked to Kurt. We had our team take it off because it was nothing. He got his feelings hurt for all he had to do was say to me, "Why did you do that?" I would have said, "Sammy, you know what? If it hurt you, I'm sorry." I would have taken it out, which I did immediately. Immediately, with all this prayer, bull, and innuendo. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. It's all figment of his imagination. I took it down. It was, you know what? I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you how honest I am. My wife said, "You know what, Michael? I can understand how Sammy got offended." I said, "Okay. I didn't get it. You know what? And I'm sorry, I'm not making excuses. We just had a kid die in my house. Maybe I wasn't thinking right. I don't know. But it certainly wasn't to offend him in any way. And I don't have to soften him up. I don't know what he's talking about. Send him something. And what happened in church, Patrick, you will understand this. I don't have to pray for somebody that's
Maybe
dead.
it's what your wife told you. It's maybe what your wife told you. Michael, what you fucking just did is not right.
No,
your wife told you.
Sammy, don't inject again.
How many other people got to tell
Excuse me.
What you did was wrong.
Don't inject it again, Sammy. My wife told me days afterwards when I mentioned it to her. Okay, I said, Sammy got upset. And she
Whatever you said it, your wife told you it was wrong. It was not a good thing. So stop the bullshit.
You know what? Let me tell you something.
If you're not know.
Stop your baloney, Sammy. I was man enough to apologize to you and said it wasn't meant intentionally to betray you, you use your words or anything else, and I immediately took it down. So you could say whatever you want. As soon as I knew that, I took it down. I said, I apologize. I didn't mean it. I don't have to soften you up. If it was a mistake, it was a mistake. But there was nothing said about you. I didn't compare you. I went into great detail about the witnesses that testified against my father. Look at the video again.
I did, and I don't even know who those guys were, and I don't care about those guys. The innuendo is that everybody should not get a fucking break because they cooperate. They should rot in prison.
Sammy,
can I said bullshit. They fight the government. So now you a fucking crusader who wants to put everybody in prison. And then you say they come out and they recommit. I'm talking about your bill. What do you mean? What am I talking
Sammy,
about?
can I make one recommendation?
I'm not going to apologize 100 more times.
Can I make
whatever you want?
You can
all I
believe
hear now is
if I can make
what you
I can't
want,
even hear. Something's going on with this.
Yeah, let me make one
video.
recommendation, Sammy. If
I don't hear it.
Sammy, if we can have you, Mario's calling your phone. If you get the phone, because it's choppy with your service. Michael's service is good. Yours is a little choppy. If you have the phone next to you, I'm going to put it here. You will hear what Michael has to say, and we will hear what you have to say.
I don't have the phone, Patrick. I do not have the phone next to me. I got it on airplane or whatever the fuck it is to shut it up. And I'm not interested in hearing what he has to say.
Okay.
And I'm not even interested in going on and making this a spectacle. I'm starting to get tired of this fucking thing.
Well, then
I'm tired of it too. I'm tired of it too, Patrick.
Okay.
This is nonsense.
Listen, Sammy, if you do,
how long do we want to keep this up? That we got to hear each other. We got.
I have one ask for you guys. I just have one ask. I have one ask. If you can hear me, you would consider listening to me. I just got one ask for you. That's why if we can get a phone, I don't know who's out there, Sammy, with you. If you can, they can get a phone so you can hear me better. Whoever phone it is.
I got Richie out here. I got Zaza.
Can you have Richie call Mario? Have Richie call Mario. Have Richie call Mario if you don't mind. I just got one question for you.
What?
I'm gonna ask. I got one question.
Yes.
Yeah, because we can't hear you back. No, we can't hear you back. You're sounding choppy and people can't hear you. If you're open to it, I got one question. So Richie,
all right, so Richie's calling you back.
Okay, Richie, if you can call Mario. Call Mario, Richie.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Mario's gonna bring the phone in. I just got one question for you guys. And I want to make sure this is clear when I ask you. Because for me, listen, we're not doing this to create a war. We're not trying to create a fourth war here or anything like that. And, you know, the audience, they're not from the world. This is obviously not going to go in that direction. But I do have one ask. If you got Richie. Hi, Richie. Okay, Richie, if you don't mind handing the phone to Sammy, that'd be great.
Can't hear you.
Okay, if you got it, if you want to put it in. All right, let's see if we can hear better. Can we hear? Richie, can you say something?
Yeah. Could you hear me?
Okay, much better. So if you want to now mute Sammy here, so we just hear Sammy through phone, that'd be great. If you want to mute him on the Zoom, there you go. Okay, Sammy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Let me put it up here. Audience, if you can hear, just comment below that you can hear it. So, Michael, can you hear me as well?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I got a question for you guys. So I was sitting down one time with
I
Stephen
don't hear him now.
As long as Sammy can hear, okay. So Michael, you know who Stephen A. Smith is. Sammy, you may know who. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith. He's the ESPN guy, and you know, one day I'm sitting down with him in New York, and I don't know if it was Connecticut or New York. Anyways, we're in New York sitting down talking to him, and I said, Stephen A., a lot of these guys are your friends, like meaning in the sports world. And you come on, and all of a sudden, you go after Durant, you go after Shaq, you go after whoever, but these are your buddies, these are your friends. What do you do with that? I'll never forget what he said. He says, you know what I do? It's a great question you ask. I whisper to them, and I say, hey, here's what I'm going to say to you tomorrow. I just want you to know I have to do my job, and I have to do this. You may want to skip tomorrow or, you know, communicate with this tomorrow. Do you think for the two of you guys that are the premier YouTube channels that are creating content for this world, do you think it may be a good idea for the two of you guys to communicate if at any time content's being made that the other person's name is being mentioned? Do you think that could solve something like this moving forward? I may be wrong. I'm just asking, you know, speculating whether that would help. Because, look, we'd like to see you guys being on better mode than going in this place. We'd rather see you guys having a better relationship. Michael, maybe I can start off with you. Do you think in the future, if you're ever going to do an episode, if you just say, hey, Sammy, I'm thinking about doing an episode, you're cool with this? Or, you know, something like that. Or would that not make a difference?
Patrick, let me end it like this.
I don't hear him.
Okay? I'm upset.
I don't hear
what
he's
turned
saying.
out, because I will say this, regardless of what he thinks or what he's heard, I did not do that intentionally to betray him or hurt him or make any innuendo in any way whatsoever. That's the truth. I came out of that sit down that we had actually liking and respecting Sammy, and I happen to really like and love his son, Gerard. I would never have done this to betray him or hurt him in any way. Never. Okay? And the fact that he did it, the fact that I did it, I apologize. It wasn't meant to be done. I'm very upset that we've had these words because we shouldn't have had them. And you know what? If he would have called me up and just said, you know what the hell did you do? Maybe I wasn't thinking right. We had a kid die in our house. You know, it's been a real bad thing in our family for the past couple of weeks. But maybe I would have said, you know what, Sam, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I'm sorry. I apologized anyway. So the bottom line is, I don't know. I don't know where his head is at. I'm a Christian, regardless of what he believes. I am upset that I lost it here a little bit, but it's just my frame of mind right now. I apologize to you, Patrick, for getting off a little bit. I normally don't do this. You know that. I'm a pretty calm guy. But, you know, look, my door is open. My door is open. I'm not trying to make enemies. Whatever Sammy wants to do. And I mean that. We've had some bad words that shouldn't have been said just now. They really shouldn't have been, but it is what it is, and I don't know where we go from here. But, yeah, I'm open.
Sammy? Sammy, can you hear me? Sammy, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I could hear that.
Okay.
I heard him in most of it.
I think what he's saying is he's saying that he's open to
it. I know exactly what he's saying.
Okay.
I know exactly what he's saying. And I'm really not a person who carries grudges. I'm explosive in my personality and things I do. I'm dedicated to what I do. I'm dedicated to friendship. I'm dedicated to things. I've been betrayed a few times in my life, and I don't like it. Betrayal just sets me on fucking fire. What he said now, listen, I feel the same way. When we got done with Mafia States of America.
Yep.
I actually felt better about him and knowing him. He knows it. I spoke to people who really don't know him, and they would badmouth him. I told him, listen, shut your mouth. Leave the guy alone. And he knows that, all of that stuff. As far as his Christianity, he could have it, do whatever he wants with it. I know a lot of people believe in things. I believe in God myself. I believe in religions have different paths to God. You don't have to be a Christian. You could be anything, an Indian, a Jew. You could be anything you want to be if you believe in God. So I believe in God as well. But I don't use him up front, and I don't use his name, and I don't do all of that stuff. When I get mad or something that he says about Christianity, It's like you're throwing these things in my face. He I apologize for that. What he does right now is an apology. I accept it. I apologize for things I just said. And I really don't want to hurt him in any way. I don't mean physically. I mean in any way.
Of course.
There's nothing I want to do to hurt him. There's no reason for that for me. And he knows certain things, some of the things you said. If he knew that was going to hurt me, if his wife was wise enough to know, she's not a gangster, she's not a street guy. The wife was wise enough with it. It was 1 day, 3 days, whatever. This is going to offend his wife. Now, if I do videos, my son is around. My son, he talked good about my son. My son thinks the world of him. He's not here with me right now because he had a feeling that this thing would blow up, and he didn't even want to see it or hear it because he likes me. So how it's going to go in the future, I really don't know. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all in any way, shape, or form towards him. I don't know about going forward. I don't know if we would do business. I have no idea.
But
I don't really want to hurt him in any way, shape, or form.
And Sammy, I appreciate you saying that. Having been around you guys for so many hours, and we've spent a lot of time together, both Michael and yourself, interviews, conversations. I've seen you upset. I've seen you in different levels. Here's a couple of things that's very random about the where you guys were and where you are today. Michael, the way I judge is, his kids love him. They're around him. His wife, they're together. We had dinner I don't know where we were, at Casa D'Angelo, wherever we were having dinner. Or not even Casa D'Angelo. I think it was Shooters when you guys was your first date 37 years ago. I don't know what the time you said to me, Michael, when you guys had dinner together. Being married together for 3+ decades, there's got to be value there, right? And having stayed clean for all these many years, there's respect for that. And as Sammy, for you, and I see how Gerard is, how your kids are with you, there's love there with the family. So there's good things being done on both sides, and both have decided to move on.
I don't hear you again.
Yeah, it would be from my end. My only suggestion.
I'm hearing you.
So, Rich, if you can figure out a way where he can hear me, I want Sammy to hear this last part.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, Michael, Sammy, if you can hear me, I'll go. If you can hear me now, looks like service got better. Okay, the only thing I would say is this is my biggest suggestion. Look, I'm gonna do better if you guys want to go to war. That's not my outcome. I'm not doing this to make, hey, come on, let's pin them against each other. This is how we're going to make more money. That's not my outcome of doing this. I run businesses, and, this was a story that the world wanted to see. The world wanted to see the two of you guys sitting down having a conversation together, and the audience is going to win because they're going to hear both of you sitting down for 10 hours together for these episodes. My biggest suggestion is if there's ever something being said or content being created about opposing side, I would process it with each other. Both of you guys are heavyweights. Both of you guys are names. Both of you guys are known in the marketplace. You're now public. This is a pretty private life you're accustomed to being. You're public now. People follow your story. Sammy, you run a very successful podcast. Michael, you run a very successful, YouTube channel that you have with your shows and then the restaurants and all the other things that you guys do. My recommendation would be to have that communication together. Anyways, Sammy, Michael, thank you guys for coming on. And agreeing to do this. I do know both of you guys at one point were a little bit uncomfortable. You were not open for wanting to do this. I'm glad we were able to make this work today, day before Thanksgiving. Appreciate you guys for being on. I'm going to make a couple announcements to the audience right now while they're listening. The fact that Mafia States of America is going to be coming out December 3rd will be the first day you can binge watch 10 episodes narrated by Chaz Palminteri. Rudy Giuliani's in there with a couple of the episodes. Michael, Sammy, myself. There's a lot of things that was discussed. If you've ever wanted to get the insight from both of them, sitting face to face, having a conversation to get a high quality content, December 3rd, it'll go out. And for folks that are asking about the cost, at this point of the game, everybody knows what the cost ended up being, nearly $500,000 for a budget of this that we put together. You can purchase the course, not the course, you can purchase the entire episode, pre-order it today on Mafia States of America. I think it's $39.99 to order the whole 10 things.
Yep.
Guys, a price point for us, they were saying pay-per-view $69.89. We agreed at the number of $9.99. You can go there and pre-order the whole thing. And for some of you guys that's saying, I want to see an episode, we got, I think, 2 out of the 30 chapters are there for you to watch for free. You can go watch it for yourself. And meanwhile, pre-order, because I'm sure there's going to be commentary about this all over the world when this is going to be released. So once again, go to Mafia States of America. We're going to put the link below, above, description, anywhere for you to go see it. So having said that, Michael, Sammy, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you guys. I will follow up with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Mario, final thoughts. What are you thinking right now?
Final thoughts for me is I'd absolutely go and make sure I also connect with not only MafiaStatesOfAmerica.com, pre-order what we have out there, but I'd also go connect with Sammy and Michael and just give them their opinions on how they felt about this conversation, any feedback. Go communicate with Michael, communicate with Sammy, and make sure to connect with them as the audience as well.
Fantastic. Folks, we tried very hard. This has been a project. This has been in the works for 3 years, 3 years now.
It's been conversations for a long time.
We've been working on making this happen. We are glad it finally happened. I'm kind of glad this ended on a good note, to be honest with you. That was my biggest thing, the fact that it ended on a good note, because I like when they communicate. The world learns more when they're communicating together. It's a better community when that happens, because during the sit down there was a lot of heated moments. Let's not dispute that. There was a lot of heated moments.
We saw some of that right now. So
we saw some of that right now, but there's a lot more that of 10 hours of content on the sit down.
A lot of depth, a lot of storyline, a lot of the then and now, a lot of topics, even current topics, even some conversations that don't rarely come up.
Who would make a great boss today?
Correct.
Like, you know, when I showed the video of when Michael was on Mike Tyson and you know, there was a dispute, and Sammy responded to what comments Michael made about Sammy, Napoleon, all this other stuff. They were open to any of the discussions that we had, whether it was, you know, the wars, you know, whether it was, you know, different stories and characters that we brought up. It's pretty deep. And for folks who are interested in this topic, I can't wait for them to see the entire project.
I think for the years that you've been doing Mafia conversations, Mafia interviews, sit-downs, and all of these stories from sitting down with the Coladas and Natali's and all the Michael and Sammy, this whole, I think it's important to remember that you've never tried to glamorize the life. You're not trying to bring more attention on, look at how cool it is. You're not trying to glamorize. You're trying to bring awareness, tell the history, and you're trying to create a little bit of that storyline, but also bring something that's not done in movies.
Yeah.
Movies are movies. This is a real conversation.
It's a great point you make. Look, for me, you know, everybody wants to learn the 10 keys to success. I want to learn the 10 keys to mistakes you can make to ruin your personal life. Marriage, kids, family, finance, dollars, health. Right. That's what I'm interested in, because we all know what we need to do, the right things. What are the wrong things to do so we don't do them? Sometimes we don't learn those things.
Sure. Yeah. As somebody is going out there and pre-ordering, watching this, maybe experiencing the first 20 minutes or you know what they're going to watch today.
Yeah.
And then online on the other, maybe go back and watch the Michael interview, the Sammy interview, to freshen up on your content. What do you want people to take away from Mafia States of America that maybe is not on the website, not being promoted? What do you want the audience to get?
Listen, I will tell you, you know, every family has disputes. Every sports team, business, there's typically a couple strong personalities that don't want to have anything to do with each other. When you get personalities like this that sit with each other, who learns? You learn. You say, you know what? If they can get together, maybe me and my, you know, a brother that haven't spoken for 3 years, maybe we need to have a conversation. Maybe my friend and I that have had 8 years fallen out. I like the fact that we are more united. Having lived in a time like this in America where we're so divided, it's good to see people who are agreeing to sit down, because today nobody wants to see the opposite side. Everybody wants you to just sit down with people that they agree. This is not an easy thing to do. Neither one of them had to agree to do something like this. No. The fact that they sat down to do this, the audience was here. Yeah. No, this wasn't easy. It was pretty uncomfortable. At about 45 minutes, it was uncomfortable. Yeah. But again, I applaud them for having agreed to do this, folks. I hope you enjoyed this. I can't wait for you to binge watch this. I want to hear all about it when you do the commentary. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of YouTube videos right now being made about today's exchange between Michael and Sammy and whoever sent you here to see this, you heard it from both of them on how this ended. So
I want to give a shout out to the entire crew that was a part of the set, whether you were with us on the shoot or you've been working on the project.
Question about
there
it.
are so many people that I want to give a lot of love and credit to behind the scenes.
Give some names.
Yeah, we got Rose, who's leading the edit here. We got Rose, we got Eric, David, we have Paul, we have Nancy on the design, we have Ted working on site, we have Gerard.
Big organization. That
everybody that's on the team. I don't want to forget names, but so many people. Kai, Sammy, the entire Valuetainment audience.
Terry with his contribution, writing.
Rudy, and we also have Maria, who helped us facilitate that. You know, there's so many people. You'll see the credits, but again, you're going to get a glimpse and a flavor for everybody who was asking. And look, Pat, a lot of people were talking shit about what are you doing? What is it coming out? What is it coming out? We get it. We want to deliver a great product. We do not have asked anything about Valuetainment. We wanted to give a great product.
For the last few weeks, what time have people been going home? Be honest.
Maybe 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning.
David, what time have people been going home here the last few weeks?
4 o'clock.
No
people
joke.
Stay all night.
All night just to perfect this project, guys.
Yeah.
Just the coloring took us 1 week because we could have released this earlier. The coloring wasn't at the levels that we wanted.
There's so many
Our guys
aspects.
made us such a great. Anyways, I can't wait for you guys to see it. We're excited about this. We are very excited for you guys to go out there and enjoy this. Again, December 3rd, put it in your calendar. Watch it with your family and friends. I suggest you guys going out there, sitting there with 5, 10, 15 different people. Use the hashtag on Twitter, on Instagram, Mafia States of America. There will be commentary as people are talking about this. Go once again to MafiaStatesOfAmerica.com. Once again, MafiaStatesOfAmerica.com. Pre-order $39.99. And if you want to watch a free chapter or two, it'll be on MafiaStatesOfAmerica.com as well. Okay. Thanks, folks. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Enjoy the turkey tomorrow.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.